Hey guys, welcome back to another flashlight review. And Wurkkos have just released a new version of their TS23 in green. So I thought I'll revisit this one again. I've reviewed the black version already, and I think it's one of the best value 21700 tactical flashlights out there. You know, it's pretty much the same thing, just in green. But for those of you who are newer to the channel, I think this review might be useful for you. So the TS23 produces a 5000 lumen maximum output, comes with a Cree XHP70.3 high. So this is a de-domed version of the 70.3. It's got a ton of throw, produces a ton of throw, and also comes with a regulated boost driver, which is normally found in more expensive flashlights. I think this light just offers the perfect combination of high output, throw, and flood performance. So as you can see, this isn't the smallest flashlight out there. It's nearly 14 centimeters in length, 41 millimeters in the head diameter. That's going to be a little bit uncomfortable in your jeans pocket. It's also 200 plus grams with the battery. So yeah, it's probably the largest light I'd consider carrying around on me, and it'd probably be better in a holster or in your backpack, unless you've got some cargo pants or a jacket. That would be good as well. So let's have a look at what you get in the box. Of course, you get the TS23 itself, and this is the box that it comes in. It also comes with the 21700 cell, 5000 milliamp hour. It's a Wurkkos branded one, and that's the thing I love about Wurkkos. They just include everything you need in the box. There's no other accessories and things that you have to buy. I'll show you what else you get, but these are some of the specifications also, if you want to pause the video and take a look. But yeah, you also get one of these lanyards. There's a couple of spare O-rings in there as well, USB-C charging cable, but that's pretty much it. That's all you need anyhow. Alrighty, so here's a comparison of the Wurkkos TS23 next to a bunch of my other similar style, tactical style 21700 flashlights. This one's not really tactical, but I'll show you one of the smallest 21700 cell flashlights I have, the Convoy S21F. But as you can see, it's probably the closest to the M21B in terms of the bezel size. You know, it's still a little bit larger, but yeah, you've also got this one here, the Convoy L21B with a very large bezel. It's definitely not fitting into your pocket. So yeah, this is why I say that's probably the largest light I would think about carrying on me. All right, so here's a little close-up of the Wurkkos TS23, and this new color is pretty cool. It's kind of like it's like a subdued green color. It's not a really bright green color. It's almost like an army, maybe like an army green color, bit muted down. And the light is constructed of 6061 aluminium. It's also got HA3 anodizing. There are all these machine parts areas, I guess, here. So some knurling. You've got some of these cutouts on the head as well. So that does help with heat dissipation. Bit of this pattern on the tail cap, but it's quite simple. There's no imperfections, any rough spots, you know, any bits that just look like they could have been finished better. I mean, for this price point especially, it's just amazing Wurkkos are able to produce something like this. And the finish is a little slippery, definitely a little slippery for a tactical flashlight, but it's good that they've included this knurling around the battery tube. That really helps to add some extra grip, so it's not going to sort of fall out your hand when you're using it. The TS23 is rated IP68 waterproof, so it can even withstand submersion, rough conditions where you might, you know, bury it in some dirt or mud. And you got this single tail switch on the rear. That's the only way that you actually use the light. You've got USB-C port. I was looking for it on the side here, but it's actually on the tail here. And the battery indicator is on the head. So there it is right there. And Wurkkos claim that placing the charging port on the tail cap allows for better thermoelectric separation and thus better heat dissipation. You've got this double-sided clip as well. It's not painted. I actually prefer clips like this because the paint tends to wear off and it looks a bit messy after a while. Decent amount of tension to it as well, so it's not just gonna fall off if you pull it too hard. There is also a spring on the tail and on the head. Just, for a tactical flashlight, I think it needs to have that. If you drop the light, it's just going to be not going to cause too many issues with the battery slamming into the driver. So there's a little bit of recoil protection in there. And yeah, looking down the head, like I was mentioning before, you've got this XHP 70.3 HI, and this is probably one of my favorite high-powered LEDs because not only does it produce a ton of light, 5,000 lumens, it also produces a lot of throw because it's de-domed. You've got the orange peel reflector in there as well to help to balance the flood and the throw. It's also quite difficult to focus in a smaller reflector like this. And I say smaller, I mean compared to something like the Convoy L21B, the smooth reflector. And you've got this recessed glass lens here on the front as well. That's going to help to protect the light. Stainless steel bezel with 4 glass breaking beads. And yeah, like I mentioned, the light does come with a boost driver, which allows consistent brightness even when the battery voltage drops. And yeah, I really think that's a huge selling point here. For some people who are new to flashlights, they probably don't know the difference between a FET and a regulated driver. But yeah, the drivers found in this light especially is normally found in more expensive flashlights. All right, so I want to go through how to use the light. Now there's 2 modes in here. There's an outdoors mode and a tactical mode. So I've got it set to the outdoors mode at the moment. So let's just go through that one first. So 1 click to turn on, and it memorizes the last mode that you've used. You can press and hold from off to get into moonlight mode as well. But once the light is on, it will step through, just start ramping through all the different modes. You've got eco, low, medium, high, and it just keeps ramping through those 4 modes. You can only get into the lowest moonlight mode from off by pressing and holding. Now, at any point, you can double click for turbo. Okay. And if you double click again, it swaps into moonlight mode. Triple click for strobe. And then triple click again for SOS mode, and triple click once more for a beacon mode. Now you can lock and unlock the light by pressing the tail switch 4 times. Okay, now it's unlocked. And in order to switch over to the tactical mode, you have to turn the light on first, press 4 times, and it goes straight into tactical mode. So when you turn the light on, just by pressing the back switch, it always goes into turbo. Okay, if you press and hold though, you have a shortcut there to moonlight mode. Now, once the light is on, you can actually toggle between medium and turbo, but when you turn the light off and on again, it goes straight back to the turbo. So I think that's a good kind of thing that they put into the UI, so that yeah, you don't accidentally activate medium. It always goes onto that 1-step turbo. Now there is a couple of other modes in here. So double click, you got strobe, double click for the SOS mode, and double click again for beacons. You can still activate those other emergency modes. And yeah, if you want to swap back to the outdoors mode, just press the 4 clicks. All right, so I ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests with the Wurkkos TS23. This is the first one on turbo. You can see it starts off at 100% and immediately starts to step down. And you can see here, it pretty much steps down to about half its output by the 2-minute mark. And by 4.5 minutes, it's continuing to step down. By about 6 minutes, you're on about 1/3 of the output. And, for a light with such a powerful LED, you really want this thing to have some decent temperature regulation in there, just to avoid it from overheating and becoming dangerous. I ran a second ceiling bounce test on the high mode, and you can see the light lasts on 100% for 5 minutes, then steps down to just over 80%, where it remains for the rest of the test. So I ran a bunch of tests with my Opal Lightmaster Pro, and you can see here on turbo, 443 meters of throw, which is pretty significant, especially for an orange peel reflector, and CRI ranged between 71 and 73. CCT ranged from 6,400 to 7,100. The Wurkkos TS23 produces a wall of intense light and a very large hotspot. So yeah, I also like how the hotspot blends nicely into the spill with the use of an orange peel reflector. Some considerations to keep in mind. The first is that, while the thermal regulation system works well, the flashlight still heats up noticeably in turbo mode after about 2 minutes. But yeah, you can still hold it fairly comfortably, and it's normal for a high output LED like the XHP70.3 Hi. Second consideration, it's not a really light flashlight. It's 200 plus grams, but the performance does justify the heft. You need that extra material just to act as a heat sink. I think a holster or backpack carry might be more comfortable for extended outings, but yeah, I would be kind of uncomfortable to put this in my jeans pocket. You could clip it to your belt though, with this hefty sort of clip there. And yeah, would have been nice if Wurkkos included a holster, but at this price point, I really can't complain. Another consideration is the anodizing. So it is a little slippery, like I mentioned before, but the knurling does help. I think that's also, it's important to mention the threads on the head are not anodized. That's a common thing with many flashlights because we just don't tend to open up the head. But with this light, if you're charging the battery outside or you want to take the battery out, the only way to get into it is through that screw point there. You can't unscrew the tail cap. Looks like it's been glued on. So another thing that causes is you need to use the electronic lockout. So see, I'm tightening and tightening. It's not doing anything, so you have to tap 4 times. Another thing I noticed as well is that there's a slight delay when activating the light with the tail switch. So can you see there? It's probably 200 milliseconds. It's not a huge deal, but that just comes part and parcel with some of these electronic switches. I'm not sure why, but there is just a slight delay. It's not a deal breaker. And of course, finally, like I was showing you before in the kind of comparisons, there are competitors like the Convoy M21B that also produces similar output, similar performance, but it doesn't come with onboard charging like the TS23 does. So it's a lot more beginners friendly, and if you're on the road and stuff like that, just saves you from carrying around an external charger. So overall, if you are looking for a high output tactical flashlight with excellent build quality and functionality, the Wurkkos TS23 is a fantastic option, and it's really hard to beat, especially in this price range. That dual UI also makes it more versatile, so you can swap it into outdoors mode, has a few lower modes in there, which allows for general use scenarios. You can use it around the house, even at nighttime. And yeah, I think this is an ideal flashlight for professionals, outdoor enthusiasts. Maybe you're in law enforcement as well, and you need a tactical flashlight. This will function as a tactical flashlight as well. Pretty much anyone needing powerful illumination. So if you have any questions about the Wurkkos TS23, just let me know down below in the comments and I'll get back to you. If you like the video, do me a big favor and click the like button and share this video with someone. It really helps to grow my channel. And if you want to keep up to date with the latest flashlight news and reviews, make sure you subscribe. I've got the Wurkkos TS23 here, and let's cycle through the different modes. So it's low, medium, high, eco, low, medium, high, eco, low, medium, high. Even that eco mode's got decent throw. You could use that eco mode as a walking light. Low manages to reach the field, medium reaches the back and the trees, and high. Now let's get into turbo. Wow. Okay. Jaw dropping. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And it is already stepping down. It just slowly steps down into a few minutes where it's about 1/3 of its output. But you get a few minutes of runtime with it being pretty pretty bright. So, and you can reactivate as well. So if you turn it on, turn it off and turn it back on again, reactivate the turbo, it starts up again. It does get pretty hot though if you do this, but the ATR will just step down a bit faster. And I love how it's so throwy, but at the same time there's so much flood, so it's a very useful beam. It's not just this pinpoint long range flashlight, you can't see anything else in the peripheries. You can really use this for all types of situations. I'll go for a bit of walk so you can see the beam profile.